Welcome to the podcast where mental health is at the core of what we focus on. We strive to develop people like you to maximize who you are and what you've been called to do by sharing tools and resources for better brain health. And now here's your host, Juan Garcia.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have some awesome information that we want to share with you. This series, Family Origin Rules or Issues, is a series that you do not want to miss. So make sure that if you have not subscribed, that you do that right now. You hit that notification bell so that you get all our videos as soon as they're uploaded. You can share this, make some comments down below. And if you want more information, feel free to reach out to us so that we can get you the resources that you need so you can experience mental health. And remember, this is all so that we can have a good, balanced approach to our life as it relates to our mindset, mental health. And a lot of these things have to do with identifying why we do what we do so that we can start to implement the healthy ways of dealing with the different issues or our lifestyle, our responses to things, so forth and so on. So I feel that it helps to go to our family of origin to understand the why. And then now we're going to know the how so that we can go ahead and do and deal with the what, right? All of the issues that we deal with. So we've been talking about dysfunctional family rules, and there are 9 of them. And if you have not, if this is the first time you're watching, you have not caught the previous videos, please go back and listen to the first one, which is kind of like an introduction to the topic. And then last episode that we did was rule number 1. And I want to make sure that you're caught up so that we can go ahead and do that. So these dysfunctional family rules come from Robert Subby, and I'll read some of his important reflections. It says, from this point of view, codependency is a pattern of living, coping, and problem solving created and maintained by a set of dysfunctional rules, which is what we're talking about. And they're connected to our family or social system. And another thing that he says is that to relate to that real self in these dysfunctional rules, when we try to relate it to that, real self is either denied or repressed. And this is why this is important, because if people are walking around with their real self either denied or having been repressed, then clearly they are still living their life based off false beliefs and also dysfunction. And what I want to do is I want to bring awareness to this because I have a passion to help individuals. I actually wrote a book about false beliefs, I Said to Myself, which is available on every platform. And the reason why I have a passion for this is because I myself lived with false beliefs and it affected my life. And so I just want to make sure that we're helping as many people as we can through this information. Now, if you missed rule number 1, I definitely want you to go watch that previous episode. But just as a refresher, rule number 1 is it's not okay to talk about your problems. That's dysfunctional family rule number 1. It's not okay to talk about our problems. So if you want to hear the details as to that and the effects of it, you want to make sure you catch that episode. Now, here is rule number 2, dysfunctional rule number 2. Are you ready for this? It is not okay to talk about or express our feelings openly. It is not okay to talk about or express our feelings openly. Now, you know that this is not healthy. But this is the way a lot of us were raised, and we were taught that it was not okay, that it was not, obviously when you say no, something is not okay, then it's wrong, right? In our minds, especially as children, we're developing and we're growing, and in our mind, then it's wrong, it's bad. And so you develop this intra-conflict rather, because naturally you want to be able to express how you feel. You want to be able to express, your emotions, but you're being taught by the people that you trust the most, the people that you feel the safest the most with, that it is not okay, that it's not permissible, that it's not right. And this intra-conflict is constant until it becomes normative, even though you know that something's wrong, something's off. And so this is how many of us have been raised. This is how many of us probably still live, and we're teaching it directly or indirectly to those that we love the most as well. So this is a dysfunctional rule. This is not a good or natural rule, that it is not okay to talk about or express our feelings openly. I did a PowerPoint, and this is why I'm looking at my notes, because I want to make sure that I'm capturing all the important information. And if you either live by this rule, or you are still kind of in the fence, it's like, I don't know if we were necessarily taught that. Here are some quotes that you probably heard that are the same as saying it's not okay to express your feelings. Ready? Okay. Number one, big boys don't cry. Now, there's a problem with that, right? Because we all cry. Young, older, adult, we all cry. That's why we have tears. We have the capacity to create tears because we cry. And emotions are connected to tears. Tears are connected to emotions. There's nothing wrong with crying unless it's crying for something unrealistic, excessive, not balanced, etc. But to say big boys don't cry is not normal. It is dysfunctional. Another thing is, keep that up and I'll really give you something to cry about. In other words, you're crying for no reason. You're wasting tears. You're being immature. You're being unreasonable, irrational, etc. All of these things are equated to this rule number 2. It is not okay to talk about or express our feelings openly. And then another one, of course I love you. I pay the bills, don't I? So it's to suppress the fact that whatever feeling is connected to whatever issue is being dealt with, the response is almost negative to a feeling. Of course I love you. I pay the bills, right? So it's connected to a give and take, to a conditional expression of your feelings. In other words, you don't love because this person is family, this person is special to you. No, you love because you have to, or if you are doing your part in the family, that's an expression of love. So you don't have to say that you love the person. You don't have to share the words. You don't have to express it because the person should know, right? It's the typical stereotype of supposedly men that will say, I love you. There's a couple that, this is a illustration of a couple that they had been married for many years, for decades. And then the wife, one day she says, honey, you haven't said I love you since our wedding day. And he goes, because I haven't changed my mind. But if I change my mind, I'll let you know. So it's this idea that it's uncomfortable to express how you feel. Why? Because we were taught directly or indirectly that it is not okay to express or share your feelings openly. And so this is a problem. It's certainly a dysfunction, and many people live by this dysfunction. So how do we combat this rule? Well, let's revert the rule, and instead of saying that it is not okay, then we will say not only is it okay to express our feelings, it is a sign of health. When we express how we feel, it is healthy. There's no anxiety building up. There's no sense of I'm going to explode, because you have a healthy outlet to express your feelings. Being aware of our emotions and feelings is a key to understanding our belief systems. When you are self-aware, which is equivalent to emotional intelligence, it's the number one rule of emotional intelligence, meaning you are healthy emotionally, which also translates into mentally, when you are self-aware. And the only way you are self-aware is if you are in tune with your emotions, expressing them in a healthy way. And that brings health all around. Our belief systems can only make sense when we are in tune with our emotions and feelings. So we give meaning to the things that we believe when we are in tune with our emotions and feelings. And our emotions and feelings give us a good balanced view of our belief system. So they go hand in hand. So in other words, if we believe something and we connect the right emotion to that belief system, then we can look at that belief to see if it's rational, if it's real, if it's true, or if it's false, if it's inconvenient, or something that we should dig a little deeper. Not inconvenient so much, but that something that could potentially be a false belief, which would be a stumbling block for us in terms of our openness and sensitivity to thought process and looking at things as a whole. So this rule number 2 is a big one. Especially different ethnicities have different pressures, specifically to the men as it relates to how in tune we are with our emotions. I never really was told this rule like this, but it was understood, right? That you never saw your dad cry unless he was drunk, which is connected to irrationality, right? It's not normal. But actually, I never even really saw my mom cry until one day she had appendicitis. And I was young, and I remember she cried. She was in so much pain. So that was a significant thing for me because I had never seen her cry. But for some reason, some ethnicities, this is pressure. This is something that, you lose value in the eyes of the people closest to you when you break this rule. When you start to express openly that you're angry or you're sad, you're lonely, you're tired, all of these feelings that we have, and it's not normal and it's not healthy. It's very dysfunctional. And again, we teach it because it becomes pathological. We teach it forward because the intent behind teaching it forward is this is what we learned, and we learned it because it was good for us. It made us who we are. And you should be, exactly the way you are because of how we taught you. We raised you. You should know better. And so these things, for example, playing sports, you get hurt, you fall down and it hurts, you cry. Get up, just shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. These things are not healthy. Don't tell your 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old that scraped their knee not to cry. It hurts. Or you send them to school, they come back and they got bullied, or the teacher told them something and they want to express that to you. Don't tell them, well, come on, get over it. You're so sensitive. Have better conversations. Now, at the end of it, the children may need development. They may be showing some immaturity, but how will you know if you don't allow them to express it? How will you know that it's something that you should, pinpoint if you're not creating an environment where this is shared openly and exclusively with the people that they trust the most? Because with the world, with the internet that we have now and social media, they're gonna have an outlet and they're gonna find a way to put it out there, and then they're gonna have people that are gonna care about them, and that's where we lose our family members to the masses, to the public, to all of these different arenas that they feel that they can express themselves openly, where we should be able to provide that in the home. So rule number 2 is totally dysfunctional. We must replace it. It is not only okay to express your feelings and emotions, but it is healthy. So go ahead and do that. And if you need some support or help, we are here to serve you, to support you. Feel free to reach out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share this video. Let your family members know. You see, you should have let me cry. You should have let me react. No, I'm kidding. But these are good resources for you to have healthy conversations, not only with your family of origin, but also with your family if you're raising a family of your own. These are good conversations to have so you have a balanced approach to not only mental health, but emotional health as well, which affects our physical health. So thank you so much for tuning in. please continue to tune in as we continue to provide these rules. There are 9 of them, and so we're only on rule number 2. So stay tuned as we share moving forward. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next episode.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast. For more information, visit our website at juangarciaenterprises.com. Our host, Juan Garcia, is available for speaking, coaching, and one-on-one counseling. You can email us at info@juangarciaenterprises.com. Until next time, remember, we only have one mind, so mind yours.